Last class, we learned all about the protein group. We learned about how important it is for our body to build muscle and the rest of our body to have all the building blocks to form and function and build all of the proteins that our body needs to grow properly. Today, we're going to be talking about another group from MyPlate. If you remember, so far this year, we have talked about the fruit group, the vegetable group, the grain group, the protein group, which leaves us with the dairy group. Today we'll be talking all about the dairy group and what part of your body gets strong and healthy when you have enough dairy food for your body. But first, let me give you a clue. Any guesses of what the dairy food does for our body? Here's your clue. I have a skeleton here. What do you think the dairy group does for our bodies with this clue? If you guessed it makes our bones strong, you are correct. The dairy group has calcium, which is a mineral that makes our bones strong and healthy. It also does another important thing for our body. Here's your clue. Our teeth. Did you know that food can make our teeth strong and healthy? Now you're probably thinking the dentist is who makes our teeth strong and healthy, which is also true. The dentist knows how to make our teeth strong, clean, and healthy. But you can be the first person to protect your teeth from cavities and to keep them growing strong and healthy. Both your teeth and your bones require calcium to be strong and grow properly. And without calcium, our body's not capable of forming strong and healthy teeth and bones. Let's see if you can guess some of these foods that belong in the dairy group. Okay, your first clue. This is something that belongs in the dairy group that is white, but it can also be pink or brown. You drink it with most of your meals. Any guesses? If you guessed milk, then you are correct. Milk is extremely healthy for your body. It has so much calcium and vitamin D to protect your bones and your teeth and make them grow properly. So milk is one food that belongs in the dairy group. There also is different kinds of milk like strawberry milk and chocolate milk, and these milks also benefit your body by giving it calcium. But what is the difference? Milk has calcium and vitamins for your body. So does strawberry milk, but it also has strawberry flavoring, which means added sugar. Now, sugar might taste good, but what does it do to our teeth? If you've ever been to a dentist, you know that sugar causes cavities. So too much added sugar isn't good for your body. So which would be our healthier choice? Obviously the white milk, right? But strawberry milk is still delicious and you can still drink it every once in a while. Both of these foods are great examples of go foods and slow foods. I have a green dot with me and a yellow dot with me, and they're representing traffic lights. So green means go, right? And yellow means slow. Now, foods that belong in the dairy group and lots of the other groups, there are healthier choices to make within this group. I'm going to show you a few foods and see if you can guess which group they belong in. If it is our healthiest choice, like our white milk here, we would put this in our green group. And our strawberry milk is okay still to drink, right? But maybe slower amounts, not quite as much of strawberry milk all the time. So we have our green food and we have our yellow food here. Now let me show you another food. See if you can guess this. This one's delicious. Ice cream, right? Oh, I love ice cream. Ice cream's so tasty on a hot day, on a cone, or with other treats like maybe cake on your birthday. Ice cream's delicious, and I bet you probably can guess which group this would go in. Our green, go all the time foods, or our slow once in a while foods. We wish it was green, right? But it is in this yellow group. Now the reason for this, milk is made with, or ice cream is made with milk, which means it gives us some calcium, but it also has a lot of added sugar, which makes it taste so sweet and tasty. So we should try to not eat too much of this ice cream, but having it once in a while is a great way for us to have a little treat and to also get some calcium and vitamin D. I'm going to be showing you a few more foods, and you're going to guess green or yellow. How did you do? Were you pretty good at guessing the green versus the yellow foods? Hopefully you were able to guess these quite well and you can practice eating more of the green options and a little less of the yellow options when you're eating food from the dairy group. Now before we continue, let me give you one more example. We talked about milk already, but if you've ever been to the milk section of the grocery store, you've probably noticed a lot of different kinds of milk, along with lots of different colors of lids. What do you think these mean? Now, what's the difference between this blue milk and the green milk? Obviously, the containers are a little different, but let's focus on what our labels are saying. This green milk says low-fat milk, 1%. Now, what this means is it has 1% milk fat in this milk. Now, this blue milk, on the other hand, has 2% milk fat. Which do you think is our green, our healthier option? Obviously, our 1% low-fat milk is our healthier green option. And the reason is both of these milk have equal amounts of calcium and vitamin D, but they both include fat from milk. Less fat is our healthiest choice. Our body does need fat to function and be healthy, but too much fat is not healthy for our body. And with our diets that we eat in America, we eat a lot of fat. So getting less fat in our milk is our healthier choice. So if you have the choice when you're shopping at the grocery store, try to buy green milk instead of blue or red so that your body's able to get all the nutrients without all the added, less healthy options. Now, the importance of dairy food is so crucial for our bones and for our teeth. You notice here that this skeleton has a lot of bones. How important is it to have bones? What could you do or not do if you didn't have strong bones? Now, look for a second at these sticks that I have. Here is a thin, small stick, and I also have a thicker stick. Which do you think would be less easy to break? The thicker one, right? I could break this one pretty easy. It's very flimsy and breaks super easy. But this stick is much harder to bend in half, making it our healthier bone. Now the same can be said with our bones. When you're born and you're a little baby, you have small bones that are very flimsy and not strong. But as you grow, they get stronger and longer. Now our bones grow in length as we grow taller, right? If I have a shorter arm bone, I'm going to have a shorter arm. But we also want our bones to be growing width-wise so that they get thicker as well as longer. That thickness comes from eating calcium so that our body's filled with lots of calcium stores to keep our bones very strong and less fragile so that we can walk and hop and run and play. Even chewing and talking uses bones. If you think of doing any type of stretches or hops or runs, you use your bones to move in any way. If we didn't have bones, we'd look a lot like a jellyfish without the ability to move and go and do the things that you want to do. So important. I'm going to be showing you some different bones and see if you can guess, maybe compared to our skeleton here, why those bones are important for your body. Here's your first bone to look at. Any guesses? Obviously, this is going to be our head, right? This is our skull. Why is a strong skull important? Our skull houses our eyes. It also houses our brain, which is the computer for our whole body. If your brain doesn't work, you don't work. So a strong skull is super important to protect your body's computer. Very important to have a strong skull. What do you think this is? Does it look similar to our skeleton here? Maybe his ribs? Why are ribs important? Well, for one thing, it connects the rest of our body to our skull, right? Or our spine does. Our spine is back behind our ribs. Our ribs protect our lungs. If you put your hand on your chest and take a deep breath, you can feel your lungs fill with air and breathe back out. You can feel our lungs escape all the air. And those ribs protect not only your lungs, but also your heart, which pumps blood all throughout your body. Another very important thing of your body. Okay, next I have 2 arms. Now, while I'm putting these arms on here, let's discuss the importance of arms. What on earth do you need arms for? Can you think of something you do maybe at school in the classroom that uses arms? What about if your teacher was to give you a paper and tell you to write your name on it? Could you do that if you didn't have arms? What about no bones in your arms? They would just hang like limp spaghetti noodles. Those would not be very helpful in doing homework, would they? But bones in our arms help us to be able to throw, to maybe swing a baseball bat. Our bones help us to be able to hug our friends and write our name and all kinds of things. Our arms are so important and useful. If you've ever had a broken arm bone, you know how useful a bone is in your arm and how many things you use your arms for. What about picking things up or playing tag at recess? Arms are super important. Okay, our next bone is, what do you think this is? Our hip bones, they come right down here. Why are hip bones important? Well, our hips connect the rest of our body to our legs. That's important, right? It also protects lots of important organs that are important for our body. All right, here's our skeleton so far. How does he look? A lot like this guy? All of these bones are so important for our bodies, right? Think of all the movement you couldn't do if you didn't have these bones. Okay, any guesses what bones we're missing now? Bones that hang right down here. Let us be able to kick and run at recess. Our leg bones, right? Our leg bones are so important. Think of what you wouldn't be able to do if you didn't have leg bones. Could you stand up? What about even sitting down? Have you ever thought of that? Just sitting down is using the bones in your legs. If you didn't have bones in your legs, they would be like spaghetti noodles. Would that be a little bit hard to run and skip and play? Yeah, so important. Okay, here's our whole skeleton. Now there's a lot more bones in our body than just these 6 pieces that we put together. We grouped a lot of them together. There's lots of arms, and think of all the bones in your fingers. If you can put your fingers up and look at your hands and bend and move, so many bones. Hopefully this helps you to see why you need to have dairy foods, whether it's milk or yogurt or cheese or ice cream once in a while. Dairy food is so important for your body so that you can have strong bones and also strong teeth. Think of how hard it would be to eat if you didn't have teeth. No teeth would make it really hard to chew up your food to prevent you from swallowing. And eating is another very important thing we talk about in nutrition because that's how our body gets all of the building blocks to build all the different proteins and different important things inside of our body. Eating is how we feed our body and give it the energy it needs to play and run and grow properly. Super important, right? This hopefully is able to teach you the importance of the dairy food and why you should be having dairy food every day. Now, we don't need a ton of dairy food to get this calcium. We should be having 3 servings of dairy a day. Now, this could be super simple. It could look like milk with breakfast, milk with lunch, milk with dinner. Or maybe we could have dairy yogurt for breakfast, cheese with lunch, and maybe some ice cream for dessert after dinner. Lots of different ways that we can have dairy in our bodies, and 3 is a great number to remember. I like to curl my fingers like I'm holding a cup, and that's how I always remember that 3 servings a day for dairy food is what fuels my bones and teeth with calcium to be strong and healthy. Now let's practice making an important healthy recipe. This recipe can be made at home, and it can hopefully you already have the ingredients at home to create this delicious dairy treat. Today for our snack demonstration, we're going to be making yogurt parfaits. This is probably a recipe you've made before. It's very simple, but I want to show you how versatile it is and how you really can create any delicious combination. So to make a yogurt parfait, if you're not familiar, first you obviously need yogurt, and I have lots of different flavors of yogurt here that would each be delicious and really can be on your preference, what type you would prefer to have. Now remember that the healthiest option would be plain yogurt, and the reason for this is plain yogurt doesn't have any added sugar, so it's our healthiest option, right? It's giving us all the calcium and vitamins of yogurt without all the added sugar, which is bad for our teeth and obviously not good for our bones either. But flavored yogurt is also a tasty way that we can add flavor to our parfait if you don't prefer that tartness of the plain yogurt. But this one is a great way you can sweeten up with the additives to what you're making in your parfait. A great thing to add to a yogurt parfait is different type of fruits. And I did a combination of different foods here. I have frozen strawberries, so you can do food that's out of your freezer if fruit's too expensive and not in season, or if you just have fruit in your freezer at all times, you always can make a parfait. So I have frozen strawberries and frozen blueberries, and then I also have these cute little cuties, little mandarin oranges, and these can come fresh and they can also come from a can. So you can get fruit to add sweetness to your parfait without having to be too particular of where you're getting your fruit source from. And then I have some granola, which is my favorite to add to fruit parfaits. But you also have the option of adding like some cereal. These are some frosted covered Cheerios, and they would also be really tasty in a yogurt parfait, and it's just adding a little bite, a little bit of texture to it, and just kind of making it a little more interesting. And then I also have some protein foods that we're going to be adding to our parfait. I have some chia seeds, and these are just little black chia seeds, and these have a lot of protein in them, and they're vegetarian and vegan if you or someone that's making this food would want to prevent and getting some protein added in there too. And I also have some peanut butter as well. Now, peanut butter might seem a little odd, and with certain flavors it probably would taste a little gross, but you could do plain yogurt and sweeten it with peanut butter and maybe a drizzle of honey, and maybe you could add some fruit and it would be kind of like a peanut butter and jelly parfait. So you can be super creative here. Anything you have at home. Coconut's another yummy thing you could add. I don't know, you really can be as creative as the things you have at home. You just mostly need to have some yogurt for your dairy, which is your base, and then you can add and experiment and see things that taste good. I also have a glass cup, which you don't have to have, but you can layer it and make it look really pretty. So if you want to try that, then you can. I think I have, let's see, strawberry, blueberry, cherry, and plain. I think I'm gonna do strawberry yogurt today. This is my favorite kind of yogurt. So I'm just going to spoon some of this yogurt into my cup and then just start layering different things. And I can do this in any way, in any pattern I want. I'm gonna add some strawberries first and maybe some granola. And I think I'm gonna add some chia seeds here. They don't really have a lot of flavor, but they do add kind of a crunchy bite. It's kind of like poppy seeds in a poppy seed muffin. They just add a little crunch, but they don't really add any flavor. So there's my first layer. Now I'm going to spoon on another layer, do some more strawberry, and you could even alternate flavors here, maybe doing blueberry next or plain yogurt. You could just be as creative as you want. Now I'm gonna add some blueberries to this layer, maybe some of these frosted Cheerios too. Add a little sweetness and a little crunch. And I think I'm gonna skip protein for this one. Let's go back and do another layer. More strawberry yogurt. I'm gonna add some oranges and break them up so they're a little easier to eat. And maybe a few more strawberries just because I have them in my bowl. So maybe you can think of foods that you already have at your house that you could create this for a healthy snack. And yogurt is super inexpensive. You can buy 2 of these for $1, or one of these is a couple dollars, and it has, let's see how many cups here. It has like 10 cups added into here. So that's a lot of yogurt for a lot of different snacks. And maybe a little mix here. I'll do some granola, some cereal, some chia seeds, and look how pretty that looks. All different kinds of colors and flavors and textures. Super delicious. And again, you can be as creative as you want to be here. Maybe you can try one combination and then the next day try a different combination and see which are some of your favorites. Granola is my favorite. Maybe you'll like granola too, and maybe you'll like something else added to your yogurt parfait. Enjoy making this recipe, and hopefully you can focus on eating healthier dairy options this month and make your bones and your teeth strong and healthy. And along with eating dairy foods to make our bones strong and healthy, exercise also plays a very important role. So let's talk about an exercise that we can do outside to strengthen our bones along with this yummy recipe you can try at home. Now, before we play our outdoor activity, let's talk for a second about the things that you drink each day. Hopefully you drink lots of water because your body is a lot made up of water, and having enough water makes your body function so much better. Water is an important thing, as well as milk that belongs in the dairy group to give our body calcium and vitamin D and natural sugars to give our body energy. There are also other things you can drink, things like juice, things like soda, and one thing that soda has a lot of is sugar. There is a lot of sugar. Just one can of soda, Sprite in fact, has 9 teaspoons of sugar. Let's see what this looks like. 9 teaspoons of sugar in just one can of soda. Why is too much sugar bad for us? It can give our teeth cavities. It can also make the inside of our bodies not work very well and make our heart have to pump really hard to get blood throughout our body. So too much sugar is really not a good thing. Having soda and Sprite and different types of sugary beverages are okay once in a while, but we should not be drinking these every single day. Today for your outdoor activity, we'll be playing drink tag. The PE teacher has a list of drinks that she's going to call out. These drinks are either go drinks, drinks you should drink all the time, like water and milk, slow drinks that you should drink less often, maybe like chocolate milk, strawberry milk, still good for you, but we have added sugar. And then there are stop drinks, drinks that we really shouldn't be having hardly at all. These would be like sodas and other drinks that have lots of sugar in them. So when the PE teacher calls out these different drinks, you're going to be playing tag. And if she calls out a go drink, you're gonna run fast playing tag. If she calls a slow drink, you're gonna run slower, still playing tag. And a stop drink is very slow tag. Even the person that is it has to move slowly when these drinks are called. If you get tagged by the person that's it, you have to go stand by the PE teacher, do 15 jumping jacks, and you can rejoin the game. Hopefully you enjoy playing this outdoor activity. It will help strengthen your bones, as exercise is another way that adds impact and strength to your bones, just like having foods from the dairy group. Really think about eating 3 servings of dairy foods this month and making your bones as strong as they've ever been. Have fun. Goodbye.